Hey, what's up everyone? Ryan here, and I'm back with another PGA 2K23 course showcase video. Today, we have a special one because we have the brand new fantasy course from the legendary designer BBrushby08, The Last of Us Part 1. Now, here on the channel, you all have already seen a Last of Us golf course, The Last of Us Seattle, created by BBrushby08. But now, he's created a golf course for just The Last of Us Part 1. What's special about this one? For one, BBrushby is one of my favorite designers. Number two, I just played through this game for the first time on my second channel in January of this year. So January, February, and March, I played through both The Last of Us Part 1 and The Last of Us Part 2 for the first time. You can watch both my full playthroughs on the second channel if you're interested. Gamer Ability 2, link in the description to that. But I say that because this is like fresh in my mind, and I am so excited to re-experience The Last of Us Part 1 golf course after finally actually playing the game. Because when I played The Last of Us Seattle, I had yet to play the game yet. But here we are. The Last of Us Part 1, one of my all-time favorite games. It is absolutely incredible. I could not recommend that game enough. And today we're playing this course. There's only one set of tees, so the red tees. Pin location number 1, medium winds, all the rest default conditions. BBrushby is back. If you all get some enjoyment, drop a like. It really helps the channel. Subscribe for more, and let's dive right in to The Last of Us Part 1. And here we go. We get to the first tee, and just look at this. Perfection. So here we are in Seattle. Just look at the way BBrushby did the buildings, the environment, the vegetation, the flooding. Like, this is perfection. And wow, this makes me want to play the game again. Wow, let's start this flyover and show you this plot of land. Welcome to Seattle. A lot of this course we're going to see as we go, but I do want to make sure I do the aerial view. But like, the way that Brian recreates these environments, like, I feel like I'm in The Last of Us right now. Playing golf in The Last of Us. I know we're going to see many different scenes from the first game, including this one. I tell you, everybody told me, oh, Ryan, The Last of Us is not a scary game. Yeah, right. Not a scary game. Okay. Watch my playthrough and watch me jump 45,000 times. I didn't have the webcam on, thankfully. But yeah. Oh, no. No. Those infected. No, it's bringing back some bad memories, too. It's a terrifying game at many points. And is that a clicker? I believe that was a clicker. And wow, those clickers are terrifying. It's amazing. Like, to recreate this environment. This, I believe, is the university, right? Yeah, this looks like the university. Gives me great memories. Yeah, there's the horse, right? Ellie and Joe. Ellie and Joe, two just iconic characters. Just incredible. I could talk about The Last of Us Part 1 for hours. And The Last of Us Part 2. Do you all have about a 24-hour... Do you have 24 hours on you? But there's the full plot of land here. The Last of Us Part 1, everybody. I am so ready. Yeah, do you all have about 24 hours to talk about the second game? A lot to unpack. Part 1, one of my favorite games of all time. Part 2, the most emotional video game I've ever played. It's still on the list of one of my favorites, but from a gameplay perspective, Part 2 was absolutely incredible. And it was so emotional, though. But here we go. Let's play some golf. Let's make sure we capture this first hole tee shot, right? Like, this is absolute perfection. I love The Last of Us Part 2. I mean, you all know I do. But, like, if you... Some of you that watch that playthrough know, you can watch my full review. But I could talk about it a long time. It's the most conflicted I've ever been in a video game ever. I don't think I've ever been more conflicted in a video game as The Last of Us Part 2. I'm still conflicted to this day. But, you know, like, let's not get into The Last of Us Part 2 today. Let's focus on The Last of Us Part 2. Ellie and Joe.
Okay, this is
beautiful
about
story.
155 yards to the pin.
And what a golf course. This is insane. Like, just playing this in January, yeah, I don't remember everything. But, like, the detail here is unreal. Brian, you did it again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. How in the world do you do this, Brian? I'm going to send this into the hole. And oh, I forgot to predict. I started to I start talking about The Last of Us Part 2 and I get stressed immediately. And I forgot to predict. I predict 85 fairways. I predict a score of 8 under or better, and I predict at least 2 birdies dedicated to B Brush B08. Let's be realistic.
The birdie.
Let's get a birdie. Let's go.
And this is a good sign. We're under par already. Let's keep that going.
It's always funny when people ask me, Ryan, how'd you feel about Last of Us Part 2? And I usually always say, like, I get a face, right? I get a face like I just get that face. And then I'm like, they're like, oh, you don't like it? No, I love it. I love it. But we don't have time to talk about that. Oh, my. What an emotional roller coaster. But I'm not giving anything away. Watch the TV show. I've never seen the TV show, but everybody says it's really good. 185, downhill 2 feet. When Season 2 drops, watch both of them. And let's send this one into the hole. What a beautiful par 3. Now, did Brian put that tree in the way? Like, look. Look at this. I feel like I'm replaying the game right now. This is a Last of Us fan's dream. I'm a new fan. I'm a big fan. I mean, one of my favorite games of all time. Last of Us Part 1 is just a masterpiece. And just like this golf course. I'm going to fade this because I think that Brian did put that tree in play.
And this shot is fading a little bit.
Shot's fading a little bit. Thanks, John. That actually is perfect. You all don't see me do a lot of shot shaping here on the channel. But just sometimes we hit one of those shots.
That should do nicely.
Perfection.
This one's about 15 feet.
Let's send this into the hole.
Oh. 4 feet to the cup. So far, so good.
We'll take it. I wanted a birdie bad. I know we all did. It wasn't dedicated. I'm saving those. I know. I kind of want to dedicate the university golf hole. I don't know if that's a par 3 or what. I'm just feeling good.
That one, you'll stay right there at 1 under par.
The university part of part 1 made me jump multiple times.
On the third, let's find out.
A funny story about my Last of Us Part 1 playthrough as we take a look at this beautiful golf hole. I did not unlock one safe in Part 1. I did not learn how to unlock safes. I just thought you had to guess the right code. But no, they're on the wall. You read writings. I didn't know this. I played through the entire Part 1 game, did not open a safe. In Part 2, I finally learned how to open safes, and I was terrible at it. Sometimes they took me an hour, and the answer was right in front of me. I am terrible at puzzles in video games, and wow, it was a lot of people had a lot of entertainment in that one. I am so glad I didn't have the webcam on in that series. I don't do webcam on my second channel usually. Never do webcam on the second channel besides a couple, like Microsoft Flight Sim, I do webcams. But I do not do face cam on game playthroughs on the second channel. And I am so glad because you all would have saw a terrifying look. This is perfection. I remember this mission. I remember this mission very vividly. Wow. This is incredible. I don't remember the names of every mission. I need to go back and play The Last of Us Part 1 again. Send this in.
This one's looking dialed.
It's looking dialed, as John says, but it could have been a lot better. And these greens are faster than I was expecting.
Setting up.
Is Ellie and Joel out there on the golf course? I actually did not see them in the flyover, but I'm sure we'll see them somewhere. I love both those characters so much. They're on the list. Ellie and Joel are on the list as some of my favorite characters in games of all time. They are both exceptional characters. Wow.
This one's tracking.
Let's send this in.
Okay, 1 under par on your round.
What's my favorite video game character of all time? I think everybody knows that. Can anybody answer? I'll give you a little bit of time to answer
on the
that.
4th hole now.
I think that at least 50% of you all can guess from over. There's a lot of videos I've made on the channel. 2,000 at this point. Oh, the water tower in the backdrop. This is so cool. The memories that this brings up. The memories. Wow. A lot of good memories. A lot of good memories. A lot of terrifying memories at some points, but wow. You know, I don't want to give any spoilers away. If you haven't watched the TV show or played the game, I may give a few spoilers away. So, you know, I'll try not to give anything away. I'm not gonna talk about story spoilers or anything like that. I'm not gonna do it.
Well, you're not going to hit every green
favorite
today.
video game character.
That's all right.
Does anybody know?
Okay, second shot here on the 4th.
I probably mentioned it about 50 times on the channel. Favorite video game character.
And just drop this on.
Like, we're talking about all time, like,
go.
growing up playing games as this character. Like, I'm talking about an iconic gaming
That'll
character.
do nicely.
Just let you all guess on that one a little bit more. Not
After
played
that
the
one,
best
you
golf today.
Currently sit at 1 under
Wow.
par.
I remember this part. This is where I found the crossbow, right? Is that, or the bow? I think this is where the mission where I found the bow in part 1. How it all runs together. You know, I played them right back to back, right? I played them right back to back. And it all kind of runs together. Is this the sniping mission? No, I don't think this is the neighborhood sniping mission. I think this is when you're working your way. I think this is where we found the bow on the rooftops. Unless I'm thinking of the second game. I could be mixing them up, but beautiful. Just an incredible environment. Brian did it again. Par 5 to 593 yards.
Silky swing.
The beautiful part, I say this all the time, of Brian's courses. Yes, it is a pure fantasy course based in The Last of Us Part 1. But at the same time, the golf is always fantastic.
Here's
Like,
our
you
second
have a
shot on the
realistic
5th.
golf course in a fantasy environment. And that's what impresses me so much about Brian's golf courses. Each and every one. That is so tough to do. And let's send it. Like, the golf plays great always on Brian's courses. Like, the golf is not an afterthought. That's kind of what I'm getting at. It's not just about building a environment for Brian. It's about building a incredible golf course as well. I'm going to drive her off the deck. And you know what? Brian, wherever you are out there on the World Wide Web, this one's for you, you legend.
That's bold, using the driver off the
We're a
fairway.
bold golfer.
Oh,
That's for
okay.
Ellie and Joel as well. Legends. I mean, as far as shot dedications go, it's up there at a pretty good level.
This one's your 3rd.
So there's that. We can chip this in for Eagle. For Brian, Ellie, and Joel. Not great,
what
but
we're
the good
dealing
news
with
is I
for a
predicted
birdie.
2 birdies dedicated. This is the first one of the day to get to
much
2
tracking.
under. Let's go.
Wow. Amazing.
Thank you, John. Our favorite video game characters? Anybody know? Favorite? Just we're talking about character. I'm not saying favorite video game of all time. I'm not saying that. Tomb Raider.
After that hole, you'll bring your
Laura
score down to 2 under.
Croft. Nobody beats Laura
And
Croft to
we
me.
are on the 6th hole
Tomb
now.
Raider. Huge Laura Croft fan. Grew up playing those games. Yeah, Laura Croft is my all-time favorite. I'm sure a lot of you all got that right. See if we can send this. 463 yards. This is so cool. The way that Brian recreated this is unreal. Wow. Now, I have not seen the TV show. I know I mentioned that earlier, but I do want to point that out. I have no clue what the TV show, like how well it stays to the game. I haven't watched the TV show. I will watch it.
Okay, we're setting up with an elevated green. You might want a little more.
Oh, is this when you're escaping on the truck? This is when you're escaping by the truck. You're trying to get out. You find the truck, and then you have to. You're going up the hill. You're shooting all the infected. Oh, I love this scene. That was so intense. That was so sick. The character growth in part 1, like the growth of Ellie as a character, how she changes, and Joe. The way that they did that, the relationship building between those two characters. I don't know if there's been a game that I played. I played a lot of incredible games over there, but the way those two characters develop their relationship and the way they change, the way both characters change, the way they change each other, it's truly perfection. Send this into the hole. I can't say anything bad about The Last of Us Part 1.
The right club here.
I can't say anything bad about it. It
really
wow,
well judged.
I'm sure when I watch the show, it'll be one of my favorite shows too.
Up an 8-foot putt.
Because if it follows the narrative strictly of the game, I mean, I don't see how anybody can not like it. Here we go.
Looking good. Nice.
That's a birdie.
Nice
Come on.
out there. That's your
We got 3 points dedicated to Brian from that par 5, right? Love that. We got a birdie here on 6. That's not dedicated, but still good.
And
what is everybody's favorite video game character of all time?
And teeing up now on the 7th.
I'm not saying favorite game of all time. I am saying favorite video game character. Trust me, I have a lot of favorite video game characters, right? But Lara Croft is just so special to me. Growing up playing the Tomb Raider games and I just love Tomb Raider. Lara Croft is an absolute legend. Let's send this in. What a par 3. It's actually, this is, I see it now. Brian, did you watch my playthrough series or something? Do you know how terrified I am of these things? Like, I would jump out of my seat. I remember a scene where I'm just like talking to you all, talking to the viewers, and I just turn, and it's right there through a door. And I said, you all said this wasn't a scary game. And I got mad. The infected, I tell you, they are terrifying. Oh. Not a scary game. Yeah, right. That game tries to make you jump all the time. Let's ace this. Wow, that game put me through all the emotions.
Left, heading left. Well, better luck next time. And here's our second shot on the 7th.
Not great. Let's send this in. That's not a bad chip. It's hard to see down here, you know, and I'm just trying not to get taken out by the infected.
And get your par.
Ellie? Joe?
That's good so far.
Are you out there? Ellie?
Good job. That's dropping on
Joe?
into par.
Please.
And that'll keep you at
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's
but
see how this goes. Par 5 hole.
One thing that's important to point out to you all, if you have not played the game or watched the show, is even when you're out of the underground areas, it is terrifying every single part. This is so cool. Like, are you kidding me, Brian? This is unreal. Wow. That studio, you know, I've never played another game by them. That's my only game I've ever played for Naughty Dog. But wow, I am so impressed. Everybody tells me I need to play Uncharted, and I do need to one of these days.
Shot here on hole number 8.
But it's odd, right? Being a huge Tomb Raider fan and Lara Croft fan, because that, you know, both, you know, Tomb Raider was inspired by Indiana Jones, and Nathan Drake was inspired by Indiana Jones and Tomb Raider, right? So I'm just such a huge Tomb Raider fan. Like, I just feel like I would always like Tomb Raider better than Uncharted. I don't know. Yeah, I have not played the games. I do want to play them one day, but I feel like Lara Croft would get upset if I play Uncharted, you know? Let's just send this golf ball. I need to play. I hear great things about all the Uncharted games. I've never played one of them.
Well, that was
So,
never going to be good.
I
Okay,
know
third
it's
shot.
inspired by Indiana Jones and Tomb Raider, right? But I don't know anything about it. I know they made a movie about it, right? Or like a movie based on the game. Here we go. I thought I put enough on that. I really misjudged that rough effect there.
All right, back in the fairway. Now let's go for the green.
You hate to par a
This
par
is your
5,
fourth
but
shot.
it's better than a bogey. We can still chip this in, though.
Okay, and this one to save the hole.
I hope LA and Joe didn't see that one. I'm glad we haven't seen them on the course yet. Wow. I can tell you one thing. LA would not be impressed.
Rolled
Joe
right
would
by.
not be impressed either.
Lining up a 6-foot putt here. And there's your bogey.
I was terrified. I thought there was going to be infected out there that jump out at me. To tell a story, now
And
I call
after
them
that, your
infected
score will bump
because
up
I kept
to,
calling them
200.
zombies. And Last of Us fans on the second channel got upset. They're like, Ryan, they are not zombies. For the 500th time, they're called infected. So I finally learned in part 2. I don't think I said zombies once. They're not zombies. Do not call them zombies. The Last of Us fans will get very upset. They're infected. Big difference. They look like zombies. They walk like zombies. They're not zombies. Do not call them zombies. I'm telling you right now. If you watch The Last of Us, you better be calling them infected or Last of Us fans will get upset. I mean, they will get upset. Oh my. I'm going to send this one in the hole. Isn't this the sniping scene? When you're working your way down and then you're Joel and spoiler alert, you get to the house and you snipe. That was one of my favorite missions in part 1. Favorite mission in part 2, I had a lot of them. The gameplay set pieces in part 2 were just phenomenal. The combat improvements,
Okay,
the
hole number
gameplay
9,
improvements in
shot
part
number
2,
2. Let's see
like
what you
from a
got.
gameplay perspective, part 2 was on another level. Like part 2 gameplay and everything was better than part 1. From a gameplay perspective. Let's send this in.
Now you've got a 7-foot putt.
Let's send this in.
Ooh, just missed.
I tell you, when I mentioned the Last of Us
Alright,
Part
here
2
is a look
story,
at our
it's just
par
the
putt.
emotions start to hit me already. Those of you that, it's going to be interesting. I cannot wait to watch the reactions from everybody who's never played the games and watches Season 1 of The Last of Us, and they watch Season 2. I am just going to be watching reactions from people who have never played it, looking at social media. I am going to be very interested to see the emotions in like that. Part 2 is absolutely insane. It's incredible, right? It's like you all might think I don't like part 2. I absolutely love it. Narrative storytelling genius. But wow, I do not know how to describe part 2 besides getting upset.
Nicely done.
Like I don't even know how to describe it. Like I feel like I'm giving spoilers
And
away
you're
talking
2
about this, but I
under
cannot wait
par
to
for
see
the
people
round.
watch it for the first time because I want to
Teeing it
see
up
that
on a
reaction.
par
I know
4
what
for this one.
I know what I went through that entire game, and it's the entire show, like the entire game. I'm not saying there's like one emotional. There's 25,000 emotional moments and frustrating moments, and you're just like, what in the world? Why did this happen? Why are they doing this? Why did they do this? This makes no sense. And then you leave at the end, and you're like, that's the only face. Like, all right, Naughty Dog, you're geniuses. I know you're geniuses. You're geniuses. But play the game, Ryan. What a beautiful golf phone. Remember what I said? You got 24 hours to talk about The Last of Us Part 2. Do I like it? Nobody can even know. Like, Ryan, I thought you said you love it. I don't even know what to think anymore, YouTube. I don't even know what I know or don't know about Part 2 anymore. Oh, that's why I can't talk about it. That's why we're part 1, right? There's the boat there to the right. Oh, I remember that scene. I remember this. That was awesome. But yeah, we're talking about Part 1, Ryan. Perfection. Part 1. Just beautiful. Beautiful story. Just the right amount of emotions. Oh, trick shot.
Yips.
You're kidding.
Oh, man.
Ryan?
Ryan? In the deep stuff currently. Let's get out.
Never talking. I can't talk. The new rule, whenever I play a Last of Us course, I can only talk about Last of Us Part 1. I get too emotional when I talk about the second one, and then...
Your approach is heading a little leftward. That's not what you wanted, I guess. And this is what your 5th shot's looking like.
You know what I've lost today? My golf ability. Well, we have fun here on the Gamer Ability YouTube channel, and sometimes we play good golf. Sometimes we just hit the ball around and hope for the best.
7-foot putt here. Looking pretty good.
Brian got us in that one. Brian, you win.
And that was a good putt.
You win. This brings me to a great memory. I am one of the best guitar players in The Last of Us Part 1 and Last of Us Part 2.
Here
I'm just saying,
comes the 11th hole.
You can play the guitar. Guitar? Guitar? It depends on where you're from. If you say guitar or guitar. Guitar, I think a lot of people call it. A lot of people that I know call it the guitar, right? That's what Joe called it, the guitar. I believe Joe called it the guitar. But I say that in saying you can solo play the guitar in The Last of Us. And I did. And there's so many, if you want to watch some great music, some people have said it's some of the best guitar playing they've ever seen. And, you know, that's all I'm going to say. This is so cool. I remember this. I definitely remember this. This is when they were going to that, they're making their way to that safe house community. And you have to, yes, you have to take the... It took me for, I remember the first time I had to find the raft and I didn't know what I was doing, right? You have to like drain the water, right? Is this where you drain the water? But it took me forever to figure out you could jump on these and move these around. And then I think Ellie or Joe were like, that, you know how they talk to you in video games and tell you what to do? They're like, well, it's been 30 minutes. What about that wood plank over there? Maybe you can push it. Oh. Oh, you don't say. Where were you 20 minutes ago, Ellie? I can't say anything bad about Ellie as a character, so I can't say anything bad about Ellie or Joe.
Here's our second shot on hole number 11.
A lot of characters I could say something bad about in The Last of Us Part 2. 361 yards, downhill 32 feet. But this isn't the last. You all are like, you all are like, I really hope that Brian designs The Last of Us Part 2 version. Ryan, where's the showcase on The Last of Us Part 2? I couldn't finish it. Got way too emotional. Oh my, emotional to say the least. Yeah, where's the showcase on Part 2? Oh, did Brian create one? I definitely didn't record a 3-hour video.
Good little shot there. Setting up here from above the green.
195, downhill 20 feet, wind in the face. I am sending this one. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. Ellie was afraid of nothing. Oh my, you talk about a character who's just full sin. Wow.
Come on, give us a kick to the right.
Please kick to the right. That's not bad, honestly.
Nice stroke. We're on the green. You could go down to 1 under if this goes in.
Let's send this in. Anybody
Looking
who
really
hasn't
good.
watched part 2 after
Oh,
watching this
fancy,
video is getting
putter
very
work there.
worried. And
Good
listen,
work.
it's incredible, right? Like, I'm not, like, it's just, when you watch it or when you play it, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. It is the most, I've played a lot of
Hole number
games over the years.
12
I've watched a lot of
coming at
movies. It is the most emotional roller coaster of a game for 30 hours that you will ever see. And it hits you and never stops. The emotions never stop. There's no like upbeat moment. You know when something hits you and just keeps kicking you and kicking you and kicking you? That's The Last of Us Part 2. In The Last of Us Part 1, it kicks you, but it builds you up. It kicks you, it builds you up. It kicks you and it builds you up. In The Last of Us Part 2, it kicks you, 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 until you're just left. You're left like I am right now. Let's just play golf, right? I tell you, I love The Last of Us, but it is... Brian, this is how well you did here. You did such a good job of taking me back to part 1 that I am engrossed in The Last of Us, and all I can think about is the emotions that I went through. Naughty Dog are legends for what they created. And you know who else is a legend? Brian. Give me a good rock bounce.
That shot got a little bushy.
You're kidding.
Oh, man. No good. You might want to aim a little bit more to the right.
Wait!
That ball is above
How
your
did I
feet.
miss it? Ellie! Joel! You can't see him from the tee box, that's why. Yes! Legends! Brian, that is exceptional. 2 of my favorite gaming characters, and I was just introduced to these characters in January of 2024. And these are just such special characters. Both of these characters are just incredible. Absolutely incredible. That's so good. That's fantastic. Brings back so many great memories. Wow. Emotional. But that's incredible. That's what Brian does. Can we get over this log? Well, we don't have an option. Like, what else I'm gonna do full loft and backspin. What else we do? That's like the unluckiest bounce you can get. Who put that log there?
This is what our third shot's looking like.
Brian? I'm sorry that Ellie and Joe had to see that there. Wow. Ellie's such a funny character in the first game. It brings back so many good laughs for the first game. Like, Ellie is such a funny character. Like, the banter between Joe and
Nice
Ellie
shot
is just
into this
exceptional.
green. Good work.
See, Ellie
Here we go.
provides
Let's
that comic
save
relief
power on
in the
this one.
first game at the right amount. That's the thing about part 2. There is no relief. There is no relief.
Well done. All right, you're gonna
Sometimes
stick
there,
right
maybe
there
a
at
couple
1
times,
under
but
after that one.
I was usually so stressed and on high alert that I probably didn't even get
Teeing this
the-
one up on
the
hole number
reliefs.
13.
amazing. That is what it's called, right? Comic reliefs. Like the laughs. Some movies don't do it right. Oh, I remember this. This was the spoiler alert. This whole video's been, I mean, how could you play Last of Us Part 1 and not spoil? It's been out forever. This was when that Joe had to save Ellie, right? Isn't this when Ellie she went away and went to the house and we had to save her? I could be off. This could be another house, but it looks like that house. January was a long time ago. I don't even remember what I had for breakfast yesterday or for dinner. I can't remember what happened a year ago. That looks like that house, though. Yeah, the horse is
And
there.
this
That's
is about
definitely it.
165
Because Ellie took the
yards out.
horse, right? Ellie took the horse, and then, oh, that was such an epic part. And, oh, my, that was sick. Okay, let's play golf. That's right at it. That's right at it. Let's go. Come on. Finally. Finally.
Okay, I'll accept that. And here you go.
Did you see the look on Ryan Gamer, the virtual athlete? See that face? The face. That's the emotions of the Last of Us series.
Marks down your fifth.
That's a birdie. Let's go.
So far today.
Oh, but I do want to point out, if you read the comments, you probably will have some spoilers as well if you haven't watched part 2 yet, or like played part 2, or watched my playthrough.
Okay, let's do this. Hole number 14, ready to go.
And if you want to see somebody go through all the emotions in the world, you don't see me upset. This is the university. I said I was going to dedicate this hole. This is it. This is when I jumped out of my seat in the game. Like, I mean, no face cam, good thing. I jumped up and out at one of the parts here. And it really wasn't that scary of a part, but we don't talk about that. But this one is for you, Brian, you legend. The second shot dedication of the day, the first ace, 169 yards, uphill 3 feet. We're acing this for Brian, for Ellie, and for Joel. Come on. I keep underestimating how fast these greens are. Right? I thought the wind was going to play a little bit more. Work. Good shot.
All right, let's sink this for birdie and peace out. What'd he say?
19 feet, downhill 2 inches. Working its way heavily from right to left. Sit it in. For Brian. For Brian! For Ellie! For Joel.
No good.
Dedicated par to all 3. Now, I did say 2 birdies. We've got a birdie and a par. That's 5 points dedicated to Brian.
Under.
Not my best golf, but this is
right,
tough.
Stepping up to a par 4 here.
I love this part of the game. When it loads, you're on the horse, going away. So many special memories in that video game. Wow. Oh, this looks just like it. This is incredible. Oh, wow, do I remember this. I probably was the only player to play The Last of Us Part 1 and not open any safes.
You absolutely demolished that drive.
Thank you, John. That's what we do. We absolutely demolish golf balls on the Gamer Builder YouTube channel. My signature. Why I created this channel. To showcase my golf ball driving skills to be the worst fairway accuracy ever. Okay, 136, uphill 21. This course is exceptional. Like, it's so well done. I could sit here and think about the memories, the level design. Naughty Dog's level design is on another level in part 1 and part 2. I mean, the set pieces, amazing. The combat, the AI, every single thing in Last of Us Part 2, and even combat is even much better in Part 2. You have melee, like melee is awesome in Part 2.
On that one, but I've already forgotten about it.
The entire Part 2 gameplay was a big step up. It did a lot of my frustrations from the first thing. Gameplay was great in Part 1, right? But it wasn't till Part 2, like Part 1 I was saying, oh, I wish they had this, and then Part 2 had all those things. So that's what Part 2 had from a gameplay perspective, phenomenal, like perfection. Beautiful.
That's a nice chip. Well done.
We'll take it. Par.
And that has kept you at 2 under par.
Get your coffee, whatever you're drinking. Cheers for that par. We haven't had enough birdies. We got to drink coffee for pars today. Oh, no.
5 ahead of us here.
Wow, this is a scene that made me mad. This is a scene that made me mad for multiple reasons. And if you all played the game or watched the show, you know why. This one, you go through this terrifying experience. You get out, and you all know what happens to Ellie right after this. I was so mad. Send it. I was mad a lot of that game. The second game, I was mad the entire time until the final moment of the end, and then I was still mad, but I finally understood some things. Took me a lot to process.
Okay, this is dug into the rough here. We're gonna need something special to
Wait,
dig it out.
are we? Where are we? Well, you only see it at the Last of Us universe. Ryan Gamer is now the Flash. He can phase through objects so he can hit golf shots. Look at that athleticism. We look like we're part of the course, right? Now, what's gonna happen with the golf ball? I don't know. Let's send this. I already know there's gonna be a comment. Ryan, if this is you not talking about The Last of Us Part 2 in a video, I could not imagine what a video is you actually talking about it. It's great. I have a full long review on the second channel. And then I also had like an hour conversation mid-game
Leaves
and end-game. Maybe 2 hours in one of the episodes. Telling you all my thoughts.
Nothing like being back on the fairway. Good stuff.
And then
here's our
it finally come around. You watch my review video, you're like, oh, okay, he loves it. Well, yeah, I'm very conflicted. Let's just send this into the hole. We don't talk about part 2, right? That's gonna be a new rule. Do not, like, if this was a live stream, somebody would come in, oh, what do you think about The Last of Us? And then everybody in chat, it's like, no. Do not get him going on The Last of Us Part 2. And if somebody mentions it, like, oh, here we go. I love it. The short answer is I absolutely love it. The long answer, you need about 24 hours for me to unpack. It's the only game I've ever played to where when credits roll, I don't even know how to describe the way I felt until I took a step back and I revisited some portions of the game. And I really started to appreciate how good the narrative was, the perfection of the storytelling. And wow, we're chipping from the green fringe here. No, we're putting. Wow. The Last of Us, what a Naughty Dog geniuses. I want them to make a lot more games. I want them to make more and another game. That's for Naughty Dog.
Smokes.
Come on.
Go down? How did you do that?
How did we do that? A good question. We used our anger.
And after that hole, you are
of The Last of Us Part 2,
par.
and we harnessed that
Looks like a par 3
into good
on this
golf.
one.
It just took us 16 holes to do that. Oh, I love this part. Brian, thank you. Can we just give Brian a big round of applause and hype in the comments? The way you can go, and you can see if you watch the show or play the game, you can experience this, but like some great moments from the game, just seeing them. This brings back such a good memory on a scene from Ellie when she saw a giraffe for the first time, right? It's just so cool. So cool. And the least we could do is dedicate our final shot dedication of the day. An ace, 163, downhill 30. We're going to send this into the hole.
You made good contact.
Okay, we finally gave Brian a great shot for the day. We have a birdie. I predicted 2. Now, 85% fairways was a prediction as well. And 8 under better.
Here.
About that, let's just focus on this birdie and then move on. This one's for you, Brian, you legend.
Looking good.
Come on.
Yeah,
8 points
that'll
dedicated. 2 birdies and a par. Got that prediction right. 85 fairways. I don't even think we've hit 50.
And 4 under par after that hole.
Oh, this is right at this is right at the end. I mean, not toward this is right at towards the end when you when you hunt, this towards the end. Where was the am I mixing up the DLC in the first part? Wasn't there a snow part? Wasn't there a snow scene? There definitely was a snow scene towards the end of the game. Do y'all remember that? There's a snow scene, and I was looking for that in here. And wasn't there a snow scene to when Ellie is... I guess I don't want to give too much away. Is that part the beginning of part 2? No, that's definitely in part 1. When Ellie's on her... she hunts the deer. You have the bow. You all know what I'm talking about? That might be middle of the game. That's not even the end, right? The snow part I'm thinking of. Maybe we played through that part and I just missed it. Incredible course. This is fantastic. Like, Brian, you did it again. Absolutely unreal. Wow. But that was a year ago when I played the game, right? So I don't remember every single part.
Nicely done.
I remember it was
This is about
absolutely...
160
it
to
was
the pin.
perfect all the way through. Last of Us Part 1 is a masterpiece. I recommend everybody to play it or watch it. It is one of the best stories and one of the best games you will play. Like, I feel like the TV show has to be amazing for people who don't game because they get to see one of the best stories. One of the best zombies stories. Sorry, I said
well
zombies.
judged.
Best infected
This could
story
take you to 5 under.
out there. And let's finish with the birdie to get to 5 under to salvage this round. I forgot the fairway finder today.
Oh, it's getting there. And your
Yes!
birdie putt drops on the final hole. That's a good feeling.
What a finish. Rough stretch at the end there. 8 and 10. We don't talk about that double. But yeah, that was a really good round of golf. An exceptional golf course. Brian did it again. I mean, this designer every single time knocks it out of the park with every fantasy course. I have to point out, Brian made a Indiana Jones golf course, and the new Indiana Jones game is out. So the Indiana Jones game is out now, and that if you're playing through the new Indiana Jones game and you want a course to play, I do have a course showcase on the channel of BBrushB08's Indiana Jones course. It is exceptional, just like all of the courses he's created. 61 fairways is about right. 55 greens is about right. 1.22 putts per hole. Yeah, when you miss a lot of greens, you chip it close, you're gonna have lower putts, right? 66 though, we salvaged that round with that great finish. That is an easy favorite. That is an easy 5-star. The Last of Us Part 1, an absolute masterpiece golf course, and the game is a masterpiece as well. 2 under on the front, 3 under on the back, double on 10, but we bounced back after that double with the birdie on 11, 13, 16, 17, and 18. I do want to point out, in this same week, so this video is going live Wednesday, December 11th, the morning. Tomorrow, you're going to have the career mode episode. On Friday, you're going to have a special edition of an Impossible Challenge round. So, I'm telling you all, you do not want to miss it. It is going to be electric. I talked about this in my last Impossible round, so check out that video. So, in the last Impossible round I played, the Count of Monte Cristo, make sure you check that out. That would have been last Friday, December 6th. And you could be watching this well in the future. Check out Impossible round at Count of Monte Cristo. One of the best rounds of golf I play, but I also talk about, I tease the videos coming this Friday. I don't want to give anything more away besides it is going to be electric. It is going to be electric. An Impossible round special edition with the Apex Hound. You're going to have 2 separate rounds. 2 separate rounds, 2 separate videos, completely different matches. On my channel on Friday, December 13th, and also on the Apex Hounds channel on Friday, December 13th. They are both incredible. I am telling you all, you do not want to miss some of my favorite videos that I've created. I will see you in the next one. As always, have a fantastic day, everybody.